Alrighty, we're on to Telekinesis, which there's a few changes here. Always arm, still a dot, still relatively effective. Actually, at least I think that's what it was in the last one. Let me think. No, always armed. Was it always a dot? I think it was a nuke. Either way, always armed is a dot, damage over time, does damage over 5 seconds, has a 5-second cooldown, which I think they might have actually increased that, so let me make sure. No, it's 5 seconds, 5 second. But it does, it does a little bit of damage. It's not terrible, it's not great. But either way, you get a little bit of damage output. It's a very low cost. It has fairly solid range. Bend metal, of course, it's an equip mutation. You go ahead and you aim, you right-click by default, which would pretty much be your secondary fire or your scope, which scope can also be used with B if you have a weapon that can use a scope. Or I should say, technically, pistols can do the same thing, because you just kind of zoom in with pistols. And then you have Propel, which you can, cast, attack, and it'll still work. So, I mean, I just nuked him. I just hit him with a piercing dot. Oh, look at that. And it's dead. But either way. Propel has a 90-meter range, which actually makes it pretty useful in that regard. I do feel like Bend Metal should have been increased to 90 meters. That way, it would synergize really well with Propel. But I don't think that's ever going to happen. But either way, that would be a nice change, or at least equalize these, or some form. Well, and always armed, I don't think it needs a distance increase because it's always, always, always up. So it's best not to really worry about it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Telekinesis, really good physical damage line, and very good because of the fact it can reduce armor. But it does suck for dual wield because it still makes it so that you cannot use your secondary fire with pistols or melee, making it a little harder to time. But it's still a very good damage increase line in general. It's probably one of the more efficient ones if you're looking for primary weapon damage. If you already do a lot of weapon damage and you're just like, I want a nuke, definitely go thermal over TK. But if you're shotgun or melee and you want to increase your damage output, Telekinesis will probably be better than thermal unless you're dual wield melee.